many vehicles or other options that you can save in the bank. One of those options is the shares. You can buy shares today, and maybe I'll give an example of some shares that I looked at recently. Those people who purchased ABSA shares early this year, they were trading at 22.2%. Currently, they have moved all the way to 30 shillings. So you see, your capital has grown with that much. And at the end of the year, again, you pay dividends. Then the other thing that you can save. A fixed, but it will give you interest on a monthly basis. Then the other one is treasury bills and bonds, among many other options that we offer.
Now, what are some of the things that you need to consider when you are doing your savings? The first thing I'll just mention very fast, you need to consider access. You have decided to save, in a group. How easy is it for you to get your money back? How easy? You also need to check on the safety of your money. Is your money safe? Kuna watu wanazunguka nowadays around wanakuambia if you give them 50,000 after 6 months utapata 70,000, but hawana formal structures. So your money is at risk. You don't need to save in such institutions. You also check on the earnings. You don't just save. Uweki tu pesa zako usemange niko na 20,000. Every other single day, your money needs to grow and pay you at the end of the investment. Then the other thing that we'll look at is how can we overcome the challenges that we face when we are trying to save as entrepreneurs, as students, and other stakeholders. One of the things that you need to do is to spend way below your earnings. Usikuwe unalipwa mshahara ama unapata 20,000 and you are spending least in a total to 50,000. Utakuwa na madeni zenye utaweza kumanage kulipa. So you will spend less than what we are earning, and the principle that we use, you need to save before you spend. Don't spend, you save before you spend. Then the other thing is you make your own plan, and it should be written down. Kuwa na plan yako unasema hata kama wewe ni student, kila term I'll be saving 500 shillings. At the end of the day, that money in a build up na unapata pesa mzuri at the end of before maybe umalize shule. Then you also need to decide to have a saving account that you are not able to. Majority of our savings account lock. You cannot access money. Access those accounts you need to come. But when it comes to shares, I would like to think deeper kidogo. Shares, when you are buying shares, you need to decide. Do you want to be an investor or a trader? Because a trader, anaangalianga shares, iki make a difference, a margin of 2 shillings. Anakimbia bank, anauza hizo shares, anapata hiyo profit, anatafuta shares zingine zenye ziko kidogo sana, ziko na price kidogo, and then anafanya nini? Ananunua hizo, then anazipea time. Maybe anaspekulate, anaona kama ni KPLC for example, itakuwa imepanda after a certain period of time. An investor na yeye ananunua tu shares na anaachana nazo, they grow. A benefit na dividends na capital appreciation. So you need to decide and set your goals very clear so that you know the option that you are picking. So I think in the interest of time, hapo ndio nitafikisha. For you to open a CDS or rather to buy shares, you just need to open a CDS account with us. And in 3 days after verification by Nairobi Stock Exchange, you will be able to start trading. Then the final one on shares, we buy shares in batches of 100. And with only 100 shillings, you can be able to buy shares. Because kuna shares in a trade na 1 bob, others even less than 1 bob. So you need to decide this early, especially the young generation. You need to decide this early so that you can build your wealth. As you build your wealth on the assets that I've mentioned, you need to take insurance so that as you continue to pursue wealth, you also defend what you already have. Because as an investor or an entrepreneur, you are faced by very many challenges. So if you don't secure what you already have, if a calamity strikes at the end of the day, you end up losing both your assets, capital, and then unarudi nyuma mahali ulianza tena. So we welcome you to our doors. For the students, tunawakaribisha pale. You come, we get those cards, the prepaid cards. For the teachers, we have our checkoffs. And for the innovators, we have the ones that we have talked with. We can support your ideas. We'll make sure umefika mahali unataka kufika. So I'll stop at that. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you and keep you. Sunday.
Thank you so much. We appreciate our speaker who has told us about money. You know, money is sweet, money is good. Nyinyi mnapenda pesa? Ama you are still students? Or you are still in school? So money. Sasa sisi tulikuwa tunasikiliza. But we are the people who give you money. You know, he has said very good things, including that you can save. When you are given the pocket money, are you able to keep something small for yourself? Ama tunawekanga chini ya piro, then you are told no keeping money in the dormitories. So you struggle, and he has given us the way. Do you ever try to save some money from your pocket money? Are you able to? Ama ni kidogo sana? Inakuanga kidogo. He has said that kidogo, you can manage it. So those are very good ones. We appreciate our speaker with a very big clap. And then, I saw now some people don't see. Is it the weather or the topic? The weather or there are a lot of water on the service? Kindly don't doze because somehow we are in a class and we want to appreciate or welcome the speaker who is going to tell us about career path in the era of CBE. And I was feeling like we may require an energizer because I've seen some students dozing or getting down like this, and you have to listen. She will be taking like 30 minutes, but because I know you've been seated, you may require, I don't know, Anita, whether you are thinking of something to do. Because these students have to do something so that they don't keep on dozing. Somehow it's part of the natural functioning of the body. But I really want to encourage you as we prepare for the speaker, because our speaker, who is Ms. Madam Betty Mwangi from KCA University, and we have said KCA is a very important university to us, Tharaka University. We even have a project. I don't know whether, Betty, you are aware, we are working on a project with KCA. The networking, which I was saying, this is an opportunity. When you meet like this, you take up the opportunities, because they came to our university during a day like this on innovations, and we were able to connect. And now we are working on a project. We call it SHINE. That's an acronym, but it's a project funded by the European Union. And we have got a lot of funding, millions of shillings out of that, because that's how we work as a university. And it is really also putting us to a very high level, the visibility of the university. So we have a team of staff from Tharaka University and KCA and other universities. We are working on that project. So we really recognize the work that is done by KCA as they connect with us, and we are very grateful. So our speaker is endowed with a lot of knowledge, and more so in relation to Simbi, who is in the senior school here. Can I see by putting up your hands up? Anyone in senior school? I can see there, so we have the Simbi, only a few. We don't have the senior school. They are there. The principal has said that you are there. Senior school, hi. Can you say hi very well? The CBE way of learning, we really value that training is very good, practical. We are also trying to put it better in our universities, practical oriented. And now we are telling our lecturers, please, we are looking at learner-centered learning. You know, in the university, we talk of lecturing. We are getting out of the lecturing. Imagine I stand with a piece, that's how I was taught in the university. Now, can you write this? Now, the pathways for CBE, Nangojea, Nandika. Add the following, I wait, or I tell you, go to the library. Now, it is learner-oriented. It is you doing. Is it working well in our schools? Is it nice? You doing, so you're not those. So we give you projects, we give you many things to do. That is the way to go. And that's how you get to innovations. Because you'll be able to be creative, responsible, citizenship, and so forth. All those good things. Kindly, don't dose when Madam Betty will be presenting. Because she will give you the pathways. But I told you the best pathway, career pathway is which one? Dosing, idleness, and which one? Laziness. Laziness is also condemned in the Bible. It's also condemned in the Bible. So, I said it's not very easy. But the roots of what are sweeter than what? Ngangana na hii masomo, alafu you'll be somewhere. So let us welcome Madam Betty. Kindly stand up. I think the energizer now. Anita, where is that? Who can help us? Give us something for these students to energize themselves as we welcome our speaker, Madam Betty. What can we do? So unajua kuna fatigue in class. Kuna kuanga na fatigue. So what can we? Yeah, some are already doing. Ama munataka tufanye knees and toes. Is this
Scatter boy?
Well done. I know you are equipped. Please energize these students and all of us as we wait for 30 minutes to listen to our speaker.
Hello,
God
hello.
bless you. God will give you wisdom. Thank you.
Students, how? Mambo? Huyu hapa hapa ndo Scatter boy. Nataka tu energize, tufanye hii event ikuwe lively. Sawa? Sawa? Are you ready? Nataka kuimba ka song hapa. Mimi ni msanii ndo Scatter boy. I'm in Tharaka University. Sawa? DJ.
No, you wouldn't be way.
Twende hivi kila mtu. Hivi tu. Twende.
Uliniachia upinde wa mshale na jinsi ya kutumia na kwa ajili ya maombi ya wazazi wangu wale mimi nitafanikiwa. Siku silali
Sioni kila mtu akifanya hivi. Twende hivi.
Kwamba siwe mbali nami, karibu nami, niepushe kwa hizo hatari. Mungu anataka kunikatisha tamaa.
Hivi sasa.
Mimi sina lawama.
Hivi. Kwenye mgongo siwaoni.
Ipo mikononi mwao.
Hivi.
Ipo mikononi mwangu, napambana kwa ajili ya baba mama.
Kila mtu hivi.
Ipo bado mikijana.
Twende hivi. Sioni uko nyuma.
Wanite ndugu yangu aliyejua ni yule aliyejua mawe. Kama wapendwa wenu mtatamani kile kidogo licho nacho kibaki kyao. Binadamu wabaya.
Sioni mkicheza, nataka mchangamke.
Hawapendi ufanikiwe.
Wewe. Nakuona wewe. Wewe twende hivi.
Binadamu wabaya. Usikae kizembe na kaa kishujaa. Sina shaka maana kiteshima nitaka. Mdogo naifuata nyote. Una mwanga mzuri kama wa mshumaa. Adui yako hatoki mbali. Yani ndo yule. Hata kikusirikia ukiuza gari. Ni yule wala si mwingine. wako ndo kimbali, yani ndo yule hata kikushirikia ukiuza gari ni yule wala si mwingine. Maishani kuna watu na viatu, ni watu wengi wenye tabia mbaya. Unayemzani mtakatifu na kumbe ni mbaya. Maishani kuna watu na viatu, ni watu wengi wenye tabia mbaya.
Sioni mkichangamka. Haya hapo sasa twende hivi.
Na kumbe ni mbaya. Safari yangu ulisema sitofika, sio wewe.
Hivi sasa. Hivyo. Nyuma mnaniona twende.
Ili sasa ndo tutaona ukajifanya Mungu wa pili, kujifanya rafiki kumbe nafiki. Mtu wa Mungu
huku sioni kitu huku.
Subiri mwaka utakunyomboka.
Twende kila mtu hivi.
Subiri mwaka utakunyomboka.
Tuchangamke.
Acha kumsaliti rafiki yako utajuta. Wewe kukusaidia tu kama shida mwanaume niliomba na
unaniona
kugovera mtu mimi kijikupantali.
Twende hivi.
Sote kwa kichwa changu mimi nafuta. Kuna njia mimi
nataka twende hivi. Haya hapa sasa. Nyuma siona kitu inaendelea. Twende hivi. Tuchangamke.
Kufuata viatu ndo nini na
fanya hivi. Hivi. Changamka na nenda mchangamke bana.
Fanya mtakatifu kitu sana ni mwako wewe.
Sikuoni wewe.
Tena mnajiamini mkiombewa kwa kodi. Ya ukaidi wana mbadili kindo. Achokengeza.
Halo.
Na msanya nangalia.
Sioni mkichangamka tuchangamke.
Kusini. Wanaboa. Wanajifanya marafiki.
Tuzidi wale.
Achokengeza.
Zaidi. Twende tu.
Kaskazini kumbe machoko kusini. Wanaboa.
Umeshindana hawa.
Marafiki ya kumbe
watawajitia. Yani kuna watu na viatu, wengi wanaona mbaya. Mtakatifu mbaya. Maishani kuna watu na viatu, ni watu wengi wana tabia mbaya. Mtakatifu. Tuchangamke sasa. Hivi. Sio wewe. Sioni.
Subiri sasa ndo tutaona ukajifanya
Mungu wa pili,
kujifanya rafiki kumbe rafiki. Mtu wa Mungu ashikiki si ndo wewe.
Subiri mwaka huu mtakunyomboka. Twende mboka hapo. Subiri mwaka huu mtakunyomboka. Sisikii kitu. Thank you. Mmechangamka, si ndio? Haya. Ndo wale. Iko sawa. Iko fine. Kwanza tutulie kwanza. Thank you.
God is good. Hello, students. Hello, students. How are you? Hello, students. How are you? We keep, and those who are standing always do what? Sit? Is it? So can we sit down? Let's settle. Our sponsors from the various institutions, our dear students from Kanyaga, from Tunyai, from Kondi Girls, Gatunga, our dear teachers from these schools, our dear principals and the representatives of the principals, our lecturers from the university, Tharaka University, our dear doctors, the deans, the directors, Dr. Alex, Research Director, our dear Professor Veronica, Research and Students Affairs. Good afternoon. To talk about the pathways, the CBC pathways. I'll take you through, there's quite so much, like Prof mentioned, there's so much about CBC. And I remember I was attending a training again at Kiriri Women's University. And we had several institutions. It was an international event, again about innovation and training. And I asked a very simple question. As a trainer, as a mentor, as a lecturer in the university, Betty, I was trained in the old ways, in the old curriculum. But now when we look at the current status of education and the economy at large, the syllabus and the curriculum and education has totally changed. And by the way, before I even say what I want to say, let me tell you, I think we should have done this before. The country would have been very far. Okay? The country would have been very far because this is exactly what we need. Of course, it is not easy from the point of view of the parent, but let me tell you, it is what the country needs. Why? Because we are going to be creating more job creators than job seekers. Hello? My dear students, can you hear me? We are going to be creating more job creators than job. So you don't need to tarmac the streets. My teachers here and the rest of us who are this side, we are older than you. We'll tell you, ukimaliza high school, unaenda university, unafanya miaka zako 3, 4, 5, utoke, uanze kusambaza CV. Ukweli ama uongo? To the extent that the heels of your shoes run out. Is it? Because you're looking for an opportunity somewhere. But with CBC, with CBE, with CBA, that narrative has been changed. Because why? You are able to stand alone. You're able to do something worthwhile. You're able to create and develop and produce something that you own, that will be able to put money in your pocket. So I am so grateful to Mr. The previous presenter from Equity Bank. You know, it's all about money. Of course, the Bible says the love of money is the root cause of all evil. Okay? Don't love it so much, but use it to make your life better. Now, the point here is how to make that money the right way. Tuko pamoja? To make it the right way. And our institutions are up to that. So when we were having that training at Kiriri Women's University, I asked a very simple question. Now that us who have been trained in the previous curriculum, and we are the ones at the universities today. We are the lecturers, we are the doctors and the professors there. What happens? Because you see, we need to be in tandem with the curriculum changes in the country. What happens to us? Then, of course, the answer is there will be a lot of trainings that will come for the universities. As the curriculum is changing, there will be need for further education and further inductions and orientations and all that, which is a good thing. Now, you are in the direct mix of this. When you join the university, when you come to Tharaka University, these are the things you're going to do. Tuko pamoja? Hello? Are we together? So, when we talk of CBC, CBC is the mother of it all. It is a competence-based curriculum. And what is happening? What makes me so excited about CBC? Because we are transitioning from the 844 system. Okay? And in the 844, we are talking about 8 years in the primary school, then 4 years in secondary school, then 4 years in the university. Then go look for a job. And you pray to God that by the way, with the current level of corruption, I need somebody to hold my hand and do what? Get me a job. Trust me, I want to think, I stand to be guided, my leaders. Maybe this will also help to curb corruption. Am I right to think so? Because then I don't need someone to hold my hand and give me a job. I create the job myself. That was 844. But with CBC, I'm able to do something for myself. So we are transitioning as a country from 844 to now the competency-based curriculum, which is now guided by the principle of competency-based education, which is CBE, and then followed by the assessment. The curriculum comes, and then the education sets in, and then the assessment sets in. That is CBA, competency-based assessment. And now, of course, the approach is more of, like Prof said here, learner-based, learner-centered. Why? Because it is meant to equip the learner with knowledge, the relevant skills, even the values that you need to live as a young man and a young woman. The attitude is also trained. The competencies that you have is also trained. So all these that you need to acquire so that you live a real life, so that you have your life into your hands, you have it to the full. Because then you'll be equipped with the relevant knowledge, the relevant skills, the values, and the attitude. You are able to survive. Hello? We are able to survive. And so that is what CBC is all about. And so in the competency-based assessment, of course, we are going to talk about evaluations of our academic performances, our academic understanding, by demonstration, what you have mastered, what you have understood. You put it in reality. You practice it. You do it. You show it to the world. And so again, I throw it back to Tharaka University. I become very happy when we have an innovation week, because it gives me a chance to implement, to showcase the skills, the competencies that I have learned. Okay? And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, CBC is more of the skills and the gift, the talent that God has given you. Okay? Showcase it. Bring it to the world. And so, at the end of the day, let us come down to the structures of CBC in Kenya today. When we talk of CBC, just like we're talking of 844, we are also talking of the CBC in terms of 2633 structure. Do you know what that means? 2633 structure. What we mean by 2, it is that we have 2 years in the preschool. PP1 and PP2. PP1 takes a year. PP2 is the second year. That is 2. Then the 6. Then you join the primary school. That is grade 1, 2, up to 6, which is primary school, the 6, 2, 6. Then the 3. You, after finishing primary school, then you join the junior school, which has how many years? 3 years. Now we have 2, 6, and 3. Are we following? We have 2 and 6, and then 3. 2 years in preschool, PP1 and PP2. Then we have grade 1 to grade 6. Then we have junior school, which is grade 7 up to 9. Okay? Then after grade 9, then you go to senior school. And we are having them for the first time in high school. Okay? We're having them for the first time in high school. Now, senior school is from grade 10. After you have done the national exams at grade 9, then you graduate to grade 10, which will again take you how many other years? 3. Okay? After those 3 years, then you join the tertiary institution like Dharaka University for at least 3 years. Now, the learning areas in the 2 years of preschool, of course, it is about language activities, learning how to speak, learning how to respond, to listen, to interact with those around you. We also have the mathematical activities, learning how to add, how to remove, how to put together. That is in the preschool. We have the environment. You learn your environment, where you live, and the things that there is, you appreciate the environment. That is at preschool. And then you also learn about religion at preschool. That's when you learn to draw the creations and what God has created. The human being, you draw daddy, you draw mommy, you draw the trees, you draw the sun. I have a son in PP2 right now, and some of the homework that he brings at home is they are told to color God's creation, and part of the creation is the sun. I'm like, oh, this is actually a big deal. You see, when you're big, it is not a big deal, but when you're young, it is actually a very big. Then you ask him, what is the color of the sun? And he's so excited to say, it is yellow. I'm like, not green. Mom, no. The sun is yellow, as per their thinking. You know, they learn all these things at preschool. Then when you go to the next, is now the primary school, the 6 years in primary school. Of course, again, the subjects that are included there, we have English. Now that you will have learned to interact with people around you with the common language and mode of communication. Now, you settle down to grade 1, speaking English or Kiswahili or sign language. Then we have now serious mathematics, where they're able to add 1 + 1 to get 2. Tuko pamoja? Then we have environmental activities again at a greater height. Then now we bring in creativity and arts. Okay? And that is where you're able to spot a young girl or a young boy, what they love, what the gift that God has given them. You're able to identify it from that early stage. The social studies, the science and technology, that is in the primary school. Now, when you are done with primary school, then you join the junior school. After doing KIPSEA, you join the junior school. That is from grade 7 to grade 9. Now, in grade 7 to 9, those 3 years, you are going to be doing greater mathematics. You're going to do English again, Kiswahili, integrated science, social studies, pre-technical studies, business studies, and computer. Now, computer comes in because ideally, your brain is now a bit sharper and more mature. Okay? You're able to do computer. That is at junior school. Then when you're done with junior school, after doing grade 9, then you go to senior school. Now in the senior school, you're going to do all the other subjects that you have been doing. Tuko pamoja? That is what is happening at senior school, apparently. And for your information, this is the first time the senior school is joining high school. The first time in the history of the country. And so, what is the goal of CBC, CBE, CBA? Number 1, it is meant to nurture every learner's potential. It identifies the potentiousness of every young girl at an early stage, every young boy at an early stage, what they love, what is their gift. Identify it and then nurture it. If it is music, I was so impressed with I have the people who are doing bongo or something, the previous performance. The team, the 2 young gentlemen that were here, ideally with the CBC, this talent would have been identified earlier on from an early stage. Then they grow with it. They don't need to go do biology if they don't have a strength there. They don't need to do chemistry if that is not their calling. With the CBC, they follow. The teachers and the schools and the institutions guide the learner in their area of interest and area of expertise. Then promote values and national identity. Fit in the country. Collaborate and interact and react with those around you. Prepare learners for the economy, engaging and all that. Now, the values that is also promoted in CBC, if we absorb CBC, of course it is respect for one another, because you realize you're not alone. Because you are a creature and creation of God, you're not alone. There are also other things. Respect one another, respect the environment, respect everything that we have. Treat them well. You don't just find any dog on the streets and kick it and kill it because it is a dog and you're a human being. No, you respect and we coexist with everybody around us. Respect authority, respect leadership. These are some of the values that are in CBC. Responsibility, learn to stand alone, learn to survive, learn to be responsible for yourself. That is CBC. Integrity, learn to be faithful, learn to be honest, do things the right way. That's why I was saying earlier on, Madam Professor, that maybe this is a tool for fighting corruption. Because if they are promoting values like integrity, then it means I have to find my way out the best way. How? Not someone helping me find myself. Not someone holding my hand where I have to give something to that person. That is not a value that God has put in us. That is from the devil. And that is why when we follow that route, we will pay. But may God help us. So there's also the aspect of unity, peace, social justice, etc., etc. But then also, let us look at some of the challenges that we have at CBC. It is a beautiful curriculum. It is a beautiful, let me call it a project. Everything about it is beautiful. But let me tell you, it is never a bed of roses for CBC, CBE, and CBA. Why? Because it requires teachers, trained teachers, trained staff, which we don't have enough. Why? Because I could partly say, excuse the universities, because they've got to wait for the high school to finish, then join the tertiary university, then train them. Okay? For the universities, yes. But for the high school where the senior students have already joined, what happens? The resources are not enough. The government is also not putting in enough. The government is overstretched. That is theirs to say. I'm not defending nobody. I'm just telling you what is happening out there. The resources that the institutions have are inadequate. And that is why we will look down into the pathways. But as I speak, I want to tell you that not every school has been able to take all the pathways. Why? Because of the resources. So you find a school taking only two. Only two. We have STEM, we have creative arts and sports, we also have social sciences. Now, in the government schools, they've been advised to at least do two. Because of why? The resources are not enough. But it is also left to those institutions that are able to take the three.